Hello, I'm T with Teresa H Creates, and I'm finally recording my craft studio tour. So I moved into this home about 2.5 years ago, and we started remodeling. And so I've been in this studio space for about a year and a half, and I've slowly been putting it together, finding out what works, what doesn't work for me. And I was planning on having it completely done before I shared the tour. However, I've been watching a series by Tiffany from Let's Get Scrappy over on YouTube, and she is organizing her space and getting feedback from everyone on how to better organize, what systems they use. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to join in and do the same thing. So I am using hashtag Let's Get Scrappy Organized 2024, and I'm going to share my space with you and then the things that I would like to change, and I'm hoping to get some good feedback. So this room is right off of my main living space. It is was the formal dining room that I've converted to my craft space. So I have to keep it pretty organized. I do have these lovely double doors that I'm able to close off from the rest of the space. But go ahead and close those doors. Anyhow, that I'm able to shut off from the rest of the home, but I prefer to leave it open so that I can, still interact with my family as opposed to closed off. So I'm going to start on this side of the room and just go through the things that I have and how I'd like to change this to work better for me. So one of the things that I absolutely love that I'm not interested in changing is this card rack. I absolutely love it. I change it out with the seasons. It's right here by the door. Friends and family are able to come by and pick out whatever cards they want. And right now I've got my winter and Valentine's cards there. And then I have just general sentiment cards down at the bottom. I'm hoping to do this without making everyone too dizzy. Then I have a large calyx unit here. And at the top, I just have some fun items because I like surrounding myself with pretty things that I enjoy. So I have my Funko Pops. I have some mixed media stuff that I've made, some things that I've purchased, things that I've collected, some things my kids have given me. And then first in this calyx unit, so right now it's just a mash of stuff that I'd really like to get better organized. Like this is some ongoing projects that I have in here. This is just a basket where I collect random things that I'm afraid to throw out, cords and little doodads that I find and stuff that really need to just be in a better system or just trashed. This is my cardstock that I use for card bases. Right now it's just being stored right here until I find something better to do or a better place to put it. And then this, even though this is pattern paper, I have it separate from everything else because, and I believe it's from Photoplay, because it's Star Wars themed and I just have a little bit of it. And my husband is a Star Wars fan. So I have to keep that separate so that I can make cards for him. And so I know exactly what I have. And I'm not missing any pieces or anything. This is a cigar box. I have all of my tags in that ready to go. So a lot of this is just like some junk journal pieces and tags and stuff like that. Like there's the Tim Holtz, what is it, collage paper. I've got some of the collage tissue paper. This is collage tissue paper. Here are some labels and some stamps, some fabric washi tape. So just random stuff. And then this is a piano paper roll. Now these are just odds and ends that I don't want to throw out because I think that at some point that I'll use them because I used to do a lot of mixed media stuff. So I want to keep those. So it's just like some resin doorknobs and frames and locks and keys and things like that and a few laser bits. And I probably will use them at some point. I got to figure out something better for that. But I do like this system back here. So these I took from my husband. He originally bought these to hold his little bits in pieces like the nails and screws and nuts and bolts and things from the garage. He got them at Harbor Freight, but I picked them up to hold some of my little ephemera bits. So I've got a lot of things, like even my eyelets are down here and they do come out. So you can pull it out and it comes all the way out. And I won't do that here because I'll probably drop it everywhere. But anyhow, it does come out. So I'm able to put it on my studio, empty it out, or my table, empty it out, and go through it when needed. And then this here is where I have an assortment of dies and stencils. And this one really houses my really large, the Bigs dies are there. Here's some extra plates for my Big kick. There's a scoreboard, and then my stuff for my Misty is there. And then this is a basket I have. So any homemade or handmade cards that I receive from friends and family go in here. I'd really like this somewhere where I can have it. It's gotten super, super full. So I'd like to have it where I can really go through it and look at those and enjoy those. And then on the next shelf for all of my inks, I got these little containers on Amazon. This is working for me. So this isn't something that I particularly want to change. I've got my oxides, my distress inks, my Stampin' Up! Inks. And then I have some bins that I picked up at IKEA also to go in this, and they're labeled. So this is tools. These aren't tools that I use every day, but I like to keep them handy. So in this particular one, I've got things like my snips. It's like almost like a jewelry kit, but it's basically for snips and metal bits and things. My bookbinding kit, my crocodile, just things like that that I want at the ready. Then here are some Christmas, just some random bits here. These are already made Christmas cards. These are my already made, let me see, autumn and Halloween cards. And then this is an actual kit, Santa Claus Lane chipboard album kit that I haven't done yet. These are mediums and adhesives. And here I keep all of my foam tapes, my refills for my ATG, all of my glues and whatnot. This little area, it keeps basically anything that I've brought in brand new and I haven't used yet until I work it. I put it here just to hold it until I've used it and worked it into my stash. And then these are craft paints and sprays. So it's where all my, here's the little box where I use all my sprays. I catch all the sprays that go wild there. And then this is where I have all my oxides, my Delusion sprays, my oxide sprays, my mica sprays, things like that. So all the craft sprays are there. Then I have 12 by 12 paper packs, and then those are two collections. I think there are 49 in market collections. I kept everything together. These are my 12 by 12 colors, colored cardstock, and then that's some specialty paper. These are my 8.5 by 11s. These are a mixture of 6 by 6 and 6 by 8 paper pads. And then down at the bottom are some 8.5 by 11. It's shimmer cardstock there. And then more 12 by 12 paper packs. And then at the very bottom, let me squat. Oh, I'm going to get my squats in. Okay, hopefully I don't run out of breath squatting like this. So this entire bottom row is nothing but Christmas. So here are 2 boxes of ephemera. Those are some little golden books that are all Christmas themed that I plan on turning into altered books at some point or journals. This is a card making kit. This is Christmas paper scraps. And then those are Christmas stamps and dies, which mostly are just stamps. Now I've moved my dies elsewhere. You'll see that in a second. And then that is all Christmas paper, more Christmas paper, and more Christmas paper. And that rounds off my Calyx shelves. So what I'd really like to do is make this kind of the hub for my, basically my card making. So I'd like all my card making materials that I use here on these shelves. So I'd like to get rid of some of the more decorative things that I have, organize this a little bit better. And I'd like to move my paper collections elsewhere. And I'll show you where I'm thinking about moving them in just a bit. So next I have my very large TV where I watch YouTube or mystery shows. Well, it's actually true crime. I watch murder shows. So anyway, I watch them though. It's on my YouTube. So I have my TV going almost all the time when I'm in here, just as background noise. I really need it. I came from a really large family and like all the noise all the time. So this right here is just some, this is a table that I got at IKEA forever ago. It's one of the only things that came with me besides some of my supplies that came with me from my old space at my old house. And I really like the height of this table. I like the size of this table. It's not really as functional anymore. What I would like to do is get some drawers. So I'm thinking about getting a set of Alex drawers and making a table from those that's about the same height and getting rid of these sawhorses because I feel like there's a lot of storage potential that I could really use in drawers that I don't have with this. And so I would prefer to switch that out. So that is one of the things that I would like to change. Right now I'm storing just a few containers here The one on the bottom is empty. That one in the middle is just holding some ephemera bits that I have no idea what to do with right now. They were just scraps from some die cutting stuff. And then that little box on top with the black bag is a project that my daughter is working on. So that is hers. This little bin at the bottom, this is where I keep my envelopes and paper, my card bases. These are my pattern paper scraps. I started this over at the end of last year. I got rid of everything and donated it to the local high school art class so they could use it for collage. And then these are my solid cardstock papers that I use for a lot of die cutting. This is the obligatory bag of bags that every mom, I think, has. So I recycle all of my gift bags and tissue papers to reuse, and everybody knows that that's there. That's just a mixed media piece I've had for a while. I'm not sure what to do with. I'm not sure if I want to get rid of it or repurpose it or what. Anyhow, this is my box of punches. And this is where I think that having some drawers would come in handy, because I would be able to put my punches in the drawers and have them laid out so that I can see them. I only have a few. I don't have too many in there. But I'd like to better utilize them instead of keeping them in there, because I'm very visual. I need my stuff out. I need to be able to see it. I'm not a closed storage kind of person. So anyhow, this is my big box of flowers. I'd really like to have those out as well. And then here are some just larger things that I store on the side, some large watercolor paper. I think there's some newsprint paper in there. And there's also my large jelly plate. And I think that those would look better in drawers also, that would be better accommodated there. On top of this space, I have my stuff for recording, audio voiceover recording, and then I have my guillotine cutter, random pens that I use, my Fiskars cutters. This is really like just the work table here. Some storage stuff, my ink pads. Let me see. My Cricut Explore Air 2. My enormous Sizzix Big Kick. That's probably the hardest working machine in this place. And then, let me see. Oh, this is a plate that my daughter's made for me once for Mother's Day. And I use it to collect dies. So before I put them up and store them after I've used them, I just put them on this plate so I know that they've been used and they're ready to find a permanent home. And then this is my Misty. So as far as my dies go, my husband installed this bar for me. It is just a regular towel bar, and I put some shower hooks on it with some rings. And these are all of my nesting dies that I have hanging here. So they're right here by my Big Kick, ready to go. And then these are some of my very frequently used border dies, cover dies, shapes dies, things like that. This is just a regular picture frame. I purchased it from Amazon, and then I picked up some magnetic sheets, some adhesive magnetic sheets, and attached those. And so it kind of looks like art. I like having it framed off. I think I've gotten to the point where I could probably get a second one to put up there. I know my husband will love that, but I'm running out of room, as you will see shortly. And then I have a nice huge window that looks into the front of our yard. I have the kind of semi-sheer curtains just because I like having the light come in and everything. And I don't do anything here that I need to hide from. So I just like having it a little bit more open. I do have my lights around the windows. So I do enjoy having those on, and I keep those up year round. I'm sure my neighbors love that. They're not always on though. This is my little homage to Frida Kahlo here. Over on this wall, I have another frame with dies. These are all my holiday dies. So I originally was putting them away in that box that you saw over there, but I like having them out. So, and on display, because I like doing Christmas at any time. That is my absolute favorite, in case you hadn't noticed. So I like doing that at any time, and I'd rather have them out. So this is really for my holidays. So this is all Christmas, except for this tiny little corner right here, which would kind of be, I guess, like autumn and Halloween. So yeah. And we did this, I think in like September, October is when he did these frames for me. And so far, that's been working really well for me because having them before, I had them in sleeves on magnetic sheets, and I was digging through it all the time. I, knew what I had and couldn't find anything. It just wasn't working for me. And then this is another thing that I need to work on. So this is that bottom bin is I'm collecting some Alice in Wonderland themed papers and ephemera because I would like to work on an Alice in Wonderland journal, a series of journals, probably about 6 to 8 of them, depending on how much I end up with. So I'm collecting everything in there before I get started. And then that middle one is a set of cards that I'm working on. So that's a project in progress. And then that top bin, those are completed, just kind of everyday cards, birthday cards, and whatnot. So that's there. And I'd like to get them in regular, all of them in iris bins and put them in somewhere where I can store them more easily. And so this is my large shelf that I got from IKEA. There's my Grogu, my big one. And then on this shelf is where I would like to start keeping all of my junk journal stuff. Some of it's there already, but I really want to clean it up and organize this. So these are my wood-mounted stamps. Here's some large stamp sets. Here's some more wood-mounted stamps, wood-mounted stamps, wood-mounted stamps. This contains metal letters that I've been keeping for mixed media. This is some wire bits. These are clear stamp sets that all have coordinating coordinating dies. So I know that if it came from this bin, it has a coordinating die. These are all of my stamp sets right here that are not Christmas or specific holiday themed. I converted a lot of them a lot of them are the red rubber, and I converted a lot of my wood block stamps to this style a long time ago and put them in those DVD cases. It worked for me because it saved a lot of space, but now it's not. Plus, because of these windows, I get a lot of light, and I'm worried about it changing the color of those stamps. And so I'd really like to get those moved across to the big calyx and have all of my stamp stuff there. This is a chip album I just made. Here's my Winnie the Pooh stuff. I love Winnie the Pooh. This is some clock pieces that I keep in here from my, I like a lot of steampunk stuff. So from my assemblage days, and I've got some stuff stored in there. Here's some magazines that I like holding on to for inspiration. This is a French pronouncing dictionary that I purchased at a thrift store not too long ago. When we took a trip to Arkansas, I plan on using that pages in junk journaling. These are a couple of books with handmade papers in them that I love. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, if I'm actually going to use them as is, or if I'm going to actually take the papers from them and use the papers that are inside of them and repurpose the covers for something else. I'm not sure. This is just some artwork from my kids. This is one of my collections. So I like collecting vinyl stickers every time I go somewhere. So like our last trip to Mountain View, Arkansas, I picked that up. We visited the Best Made Pickle Factory in Fort Worth, Texas, and I picked up stickers for that. So everywhere I go, I like to pick up vinyl stickers. And then down here, these are the books that I use pages from in my junk journals or in my card making. Here are some junk journals in progress, completed, etc. Here are photo albums. That box contains photos. There are a couple of chipboard albums that I've made on top. These are just personal books that I reference. Down here is a mix of stuff. So a lot of these are family photo albums. And then I have other larger albums and papers and things that I can use for junk journaling when I get around to it. There's the World Book Dictionary, and then also a couple of encyclopedias. I have L and M, and I use those for junk journaling. And like this right here contains, I'd like to do another project. So I'm collecting items for a queen as in royalty, project for a junk journal, and I'm collecting them all in here. But this really should be in one of those iris totes, labeled and somewhere where I can work on it better. So I need to kind of pull it together. And what I'm thinking is I have large shelves out in my living room, And I'm thinking of moving all of the photos and photo albums out there, and that would clear up a lot of space because they're not being looked at and enjoyed while they're in here. But if I put them out in the family room, chances of people pulling them off the shelf and looking at them, I think, are much, much higher. So, and then here I have 3 picture frames that my husband lovingly put on the wall for me that also hold dies. So those on top are going to be like my critters and miscellaneous bits. And then that's all my word dies. And then some coffee dies on the side. And then these are going to be all of my floral and fauna, all my florals and branches and things, leaves. And then here are some large papers that I want to use in junk journaling or card making. And I have all of this in this little container here because they're big rolls. I have another calyx unit. Ooh, I hope that they didn't make anyone too dizzy. I have another calyx unit here in the corner. It's smaller than the one across the room. And I'd really like to use this one for just holding the rest of my items. I'll show you what I've got here. So on the side of this, I've got a hook. This is where I keep a lot of my totes and my apron when things get super messy in here. And then up here, I have some more items on display. There's more Winnie the Pooh. There's some pictures that my children drew for me. There's a box that contains some of my more sentimental items. Just paintbrushes, that I actually use. So I know it's a weird floral arrangement, but it's actually flowers that I use, and I leave them on the stems because I like the leaves and the flowers. And so I've just put them all in that huge vase. And as I want to use them, I will pull them off. So a lot of them, you'll notice the stems are naked. So I actually pull them off and use them in projects. Here are some of my watercolor pencils and brushes and colored pencils there. And then this little guy is just something I had to have in my room. He's called a creep, and I think he's absolutely adorable. All right, here are some gifts from my children, some artwork from my children, and then these are some Alice in Wonderland themed altered bottles that I made with my mom and my aunt. That was a lot of fun. We did that a few years ago. That was a lot of fun. This right here is a lot of my junk journal stuff. So this is a lot of the ephemera that's ready to be made and stuff, and things that I've just collected. Masterboard that I've done, or Frankenboard, whatever you want to call that. And then like here are some clusters I just completed in a video. And I would love to get this stuff moved over to the junk journal bookcase over here. So junk journal, and then just other stuff. So these are the books that I also use as inspiration for junk journal. They didn't fit over on those other shelves, and so I put them over here. But I pull things from these to use as pages and whatnot. This over here, I don't access very often, so it's not a big deal. It's just some personal items there. Crayons and cheap colors and colored pencils for when my nieces and nephews come to visit. And so this is more family photos that I need to get in albums. These are sewing tools. That's my sewing kit and stuff in there. This is all my heat embossing and wax for encaustic stuff here. This is where my acrylic paints go, but my daughter's working on a project, so she took that. Let's see. Oh, we're going to do the squat again. This is where all of my pastels are. This is really full. I have a lot of pan pastels and pastel kits. This is my watercolors. All of those are just tossed in there. Some canvases, some boxes that I've taken from the recycling bin that I'd like to probably repurpose as covers for junk journals. And then this is some projects in progress. Over here is all of my Cricut stuff. And then this is all chipboard. This is junk journal scraps, and then my metal stamping supplies, and then a couple of projects I need to fix and put on the wall. And then here are some more bits for junk journaling, for chipboard albums, for assemblage pieces. So just some mixed media type stuff there. And a lot of that, like I said, I'd like to get moved over and consolidated into just a junk journal wall. Okay, I'm going to stand up from my squat and hopefully not make anyone sick. Okay. Then I have my canvas with my Velveteen Rabbit quote. It was one of my favorite books as a kid, and so I have that up there. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And then I have this rounder, which worked in my old studio, and I absolutely loved it. It's not really working in this space because it's kind of taking up a lot of room, but I love it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. If I'm going to leave it here, because like I said, I don't really access the stuff that's in that corner very often. So it could be fine. But in this, I have my ribbons and laces and bits here, floss, seam binding, all of that. Here is where I have my collection of Winnie the Pooh stuff that I picked up at Disney and then just other places along the way because I'm obsessed with Winnie the Pooh. And then I'm also just kind of obsessed with little cute stuffed animals. And so anytime we go places and I see something I absolutely have to have, then we get it. This is when we went to see the Lion King, the musical. This is from the zoo, the Fort Worth Zoo. And this one was from a different zoo. So, and a few of those are just actually stuffies that I've had from my childhood. So it's just fun memories. And then this is just a collection of fabric stuff that I have not, that have been handmade or made and that I haven't found a place for and haven't stored. Like my great aunt makes these cute little fabric hearts with all these little trim bits and stuff. And I absolutely love those. Don't want to get rid of them, but I'm not sure where to put them. Here are some art pieces, things that I've purchased, things my daughters have painted, things that I've painted. And then those are the doors that lead out into the main family area. Oh, and then I don't want him to be left out. This is Mortimer. He is my studio mouse, keeps me company. And then this is my purge box. So anytime I go through a purge or I feel like I'm going to get rid of something that I haven't used in a while, I put in this box, I let it sit here for a little bit. And if I don't go back to it within, I don't know, a month, 2 months, then I go ahead and kick it out the door because I don't need it, right? Right. Okay. And then these are my tables that I do all my work from. So I prefer to do standing work. And so that's why I have the taller tables. I prefer to stand because my regular job is admin and I sit. And so I prefer to stand. So I don't have chairs in my room right now, but I would like to remedy that because not everyone likes to stand and I'm also getting older. So I would like to have some chairs, but because of the height of these, I really need to get some of the architects or the draft chairs that go up a little bit higher. So that's on my list of things to purchase this year is some actual chairs for this space, some nice comfy chairs that I can use. So on this first table, and these were kitchen islands that I purchased from IKEA. These were the, other than that table in the corner, these were the first things that I brought into my studio, and I absolutely love them. So this is, I have a haul video. These are some things that I purchased from an estate sale, and I have a video showing all of this stuff. These are the items that I chose to keep, and now I've got to just work them into my stash. So yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going to put everything, but I decided to leave it here for now until I've reworked some of this other stuff, and then I'll get it figured out. This is a paper mat that I have here on this one that stays here that I can use it, and then also my glass mat, my Tim Holtz Tonic glass mat. This is my candy dish, which unfortunately is empty. I usually have Dove milk chocolate in there, but everybody, my kids and their friends know this, and so it's often pillaged. So it needs a refill. These items are just storage items that need to go back out into my garage, and so I've just got to get my husband to carry those back out there for me. We're kind of reworking the organization in the garage, and so once I have space for them, I'll move those out there, and then those will no longer be in my way either. This is where I do the majority of my working right here, my recording stuff is set up here. I have stuff that I've laid out for just one more Valentine project for this month. Here are my tools. This gets overwhelming when I'm working very quickly because of the amount of tools that I have. And like, this isn't a very good solution, but like here I have this bucket and I just put all of my commonly used tools, like the little things, my bone folders, my tiny attacher, my jewel picker, my acrylic block, my reverse tweezers, all of those are in there, and that's just not a good system for it. So I'm thinking about actually getting one of those little rolling carts that I'll be able to roll over here out of the way, or I'll be able to roll underneath my desk, and I can use it right here beside me when I'm working, and when I'm not, I can roll it out of the way. And so I think that that would be more useful for me. And that way it gets stuff off of my workspace, because as you know, once you get started on a project, you run out of space really quick, and I find myself with stuff everywhere, and I'm constantly just working on almost a 6 by 6 space, I think, most of the time, just a tiny little bit. And not that moving these things off my table would change that. It just might be a little bit more helpful. So I think that that's also a goal. And this is my Valentine stuff. As soon as I finish this project, I've got to sort this out and put it away, probably until next year. But as you can see, I think I've outgrown it. So I'm probably going to have to get another bin for that. And then this is something that I just started. I put together this folder. It has some of my card sketches in it that I've been using. Sheet load of cards and other card sketches and things. But I also have a goal to use up at least one paper pad or collection every month. And so this one I just finished. And so that's my first one. And I'm going to start keeping them in here so I can keep track of my goals. So 12 of them this year is my goal. Okay. And then on the front side of these islands, I'm trying to take it a little bit easy. Just more stuff. Okay. So this is kind of the goal. I'd like to get more of these little scrapbook bins and put them all on these shelves here. So all of my projects, all of my assorted bins. So those bins that are over in the corner, that little queen collection that I'm trying to put together, I would like to have them all here. So I've already kind of started. I have my winter bin, and it recently grew to include another one, so I've got to get a label for that. This is my coffee themed stuff. These are my stencils. This is not working for me. I would like to put my stencils in a bin and put it up on the calyx so that I can see them, and then use this for something else. This is my autumn stuff. And then, let me see, let me back up, squat again. Oh, I'm getting lots of squats in. Okay, this is my Halloween bin. This is additional Halloween stuff. These are Halloween cards. These are Valentine cards. And then this is all just bits of ephemera and things that I use. So this is small metal bits. This is some decorative chipboard. Those are some larger metal bits. Like I said, I used to do a lot of assemblage and mixed media stuff. So, and I will probably get into that again, so I hesitate to get rid of it. This is an assortment of, I don't have this label, this assortment of resins, and I did not buy these. These were given to me, so I wanted to show you though. Look at these creepy baby doll faces. I have no idea what I would use them for, but I keep thinking at some point I will have some sort of aha moment or some revelation, and I will need those. And so, yeah, I got to hold on to those. But anyway, those are resin bits and creepy baby doll faces. I don't know that I'll put creepy baby doll faces on the label. I'll have to find something else to call those. There's some paper mache bits over there and some chipboard, and then some office supplies in that other container. And then let me go down. Okay. So in the second set, I've got markers and re-inkers and sponges, and here are my stickles, my Nuvo drops, all of those. Here are all of my stickers and peel-offs. Here are my gelatos. This is where I was keeping all of my oxides and distress inks, but they weren't going to fit in these tins any longer, so I put them up in that system up in the calyx behind me. And then I also started collecting the minis and the distress inks because I really prefer the oxides. So I started collecting the minis, and I have 2 tins of those. These are my alcohol inks, and then some larger ink pads. Here's my glitter, my buttons, which my buttons I would like to get out and on display. My washi tapes, additional ink pads, enamel dots and sequins, and some other smaller tools that I use. And then these are tubs for ephemera. I don't have any of these labeled, but they are organized in here. Anytime I need something, I do have to kind of dig through these to see what I've got. But it's pretty quick and it works for me because at least the little tins themselves or the little bins themselves are organized. So once I find what I need, I'm able to pull them out. And I've got 2 of these cases, but, oh, cannot do that with one hand, so I will just leave it. So, and then my lovely light with my little stars hanging from it. And that is it. That is my studio space. So changes and ideas, let me know what you think. I want to move all of my stamps and my ephemera and tools from the island to here. I would like to move all the paper collections, minus probably the solid cardstock, but the paper collections definitely from the very bottom to iris bins and move them here. And then drawers with a tabletop there would probably be better for me. 2 chairs, a rolling cart for my supplies, making that a junk journal shelf, and then just reworking these shelves over here for better storage. So that's kind of my plan. Let me know what you think. If there's a system that you use for your stamps and stencils and have them on display on your shelves, please let me know. I'm thinking about getting either clear or frosted bins to put in these calic shelves and then to just stack them in sleeves. So let me know if you have a cost-effective storage system for that, because I would appreciate that. I don't want to spend a ton. I already have a lot of things I need to purchase. But yeah, I definitely need to make some changes in here. So I'll start working on that and recording my progress along the way. And I hope that I have inspired you with my space, and that you'll be up to sharing your space as well. I love watching craft studio or craft room tours. I absolutely love them. So anyhow, I hope you liked it. If you did, please like and share. Please subscribe. And don't forget to use hashtag Let's Get Scrappy Organized 2024 when you post your video. I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.